This is the Armstrong and Getty Show on 910 AM. More stimulating talk.
Even with the divorce announcement coming out yesterday, Larry did his show last night, and who was the first guest he had on the day he filed for divorce? Pamela Anderson.
You're a seductive, sexy person. You receive a lot of attentions for the seductive moves, the costumes, and a very sexy split. Have you done splits before then? You say Dancing with the Stars producers had to talk to you about wearing underwear while you dance. Did you offer not to wear underwear? Have you had a wardrobe malfunction? Do you know what you're wearing next? Have you had sex standing up?
The hell are they putting in this Metamucil?
Wow.
Jeez, Larry.
How did he end up asking that? This is a guy who used to interview Henry Kissinger.
Keep your pants on, son.
Asking Pam Anderson if she's wearing underwear and has she had sex standing up. Wow. Of course, he's the king is on the loose, ladies.
Apparently so. Wow. He's got a briefcase full of Viagra and he knows how to use it.
This next marriage for Larry King is going to be laugh out loud ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just over the top. You can't believe it. 20-something, so obvious what's going on.
Here comes the laugher. You're absolutely right. He had his last shot at a real relationship, and that's it. We're talking about the pictures Britney Spears recently released of herself in a bikini, her real pictures, and then the airbrushed ones where she's pointing out what they changed. It's really pretty cool of her. I appreciate that.
You can look at the pictures side by side at ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Those pictures you see in magazines, even of pretty people, are not what they look like.
Oh, they're wildly unrealistic, which is amazing. And we were talking about the men's fitness type magazines with the perfect-looking guy with his perfect-looking abs and his giant arms and stuff like that. And Terry is calling from Napa. Hey, Terry, you used to work at Men's Fitness?
I did, yes. Can I tell you a Pam Anderson story first?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, just use nice words.
Okay. I worked for Sport Magazine also at one point in my career. And in the 90s, swimsuit issues were the hot thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So Pam Anderson was this hottie on Baywatch, and she was not, she's just emerging as a hottie. We wanted to use her on our cover, and do you know what killed the deal? She would not wear a bikini because it would compromise her wholesome image.
I'll be danged.
This was right before she married Axl Rose, had her large breasts enlarged, and turned into a professional slut.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The truth. She would not do a photo shoot and wear a bikini because she did not want to compromise her wholesome.
Well, obviously fame changed her somehow.
Yeah. So, and she ended up getting Hep C from Tommy Lee. Yikes. So, tell us about the whole photo shoot thing.
Okay. I used to be the fitness editor, and in order to get, I knew what I was doing, and I would have to slap the photo people around to get everything right. You're spending lots of money. I can't get it wrong. The whole process starts. I'll tell you about an abs issue. This is how you can get.
There's only three issues. There's abs, there's bigger arms, and chest. I think those are the three issues.
Right. And the phoniest is the abs thing, the tight abs. So you figure out what you want the guy to look like. Are you going out? Are you going to target this article to the 30-year-old or the 20-year-old? Stuff like that. So you want to pick out the guy who reflects, the target of the month. So you get the guy. You're looking for a certain kind of look. There is an army in L.A. of actors, model types, who are extraordinarily physically fit, right?
Yeah, right.
So the guys who go into this, they're already good looking. They have the genetics, to look great and be in good shape. Then they go out of their way to spend literally years. If you're hanging around L.A. for 5 or 10 years in this business, they spend 20 hours a week staying in shape, eating right. So this is the pool you are drawing from. Genetically perfect to begin, genetically right to begin with.
Sure.
And then they spend their whole life staying in shape. Then we do a casting call 2 months before the photo shoot. You look at the guys. You pick the guy. You give him the jobs. He's got a job 6 weeks later. He will spend the next 5 weeks working out super hard. He's going to up everything he does. He's going to change his diet quite specifically to consume less. And these bodybuilders do all kinds of crazy diet things as they lead up to an event, for instance. They will go through all this extreme stuff, and they'll know their own metabolisms, what they need to do this. So as they lead up to the month before, They're getting ever more extreme and tight. And then the last 3 days, they may stop eating anything with fat in it, eat nothing but egg whites and meat, and they're going to cut down on their water consumption the last day or two, and they won't drink anything that morning. So you do your photo shoot 6 weeks after you hired the guy. You spent that whole time planning for this day. You do your Photoshop over the course of 4 or 5 hours. You got your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy looked like that literally for about 4 hours. And if he never has an ab thing like that again, he may never again look like that for the rest of his life. I mean, it's literally. And there's before and after things.
Yeah.
One of my successors, I moved on to a bigger, better job and, gave one of my buddies the job. He did one of these things where, the before and after shots you see all the time. Well, if you're a reasonably in shape guy, but, you're 30 and, a little pudgy in the middle and stuff, if you spend 10 minutes pumping up, waving your arms around, doing the isometric stuff, right, and you're stuck in your stomach, those before and after pictures, he did it. And he did it literally within 10 minutes. I mean, that was the joke.
Terry, you're an interesting guy. What are you up to these days?
I've told you before, I did a land deal in Napa 3 years ago, and this is the bureaucracy from hell. I never committed a crime, but I live in an 8-foot cabin in the woods waiting for the next SWAT raid. And it reached the point where I've done building inspections at machine gun point. They've not been able to drive me off my land in the usual ways, so they've taken to shooting, gunshots at my gully in the middle of the night. So anyway, that's my life right now.
Shot in the gully. All right, Terry, stay in touch, all right? Great story. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, see you later. That's a can of worms right there.
So that is pretty interesting. Yeah. So you got the best of the best looking people to start with.
Right.
Then they work out.
They're professional model actors.
They're professional workout guys. And that's their job, right, working out all every day.
Being a physical specimen.
Then you make the audition and you have to concentrate on that particular area. Then you do, because I've known guys who did this, like for bodybuilding or whatever, you don't take any water for 2 days, so it sucks all the water out of you and everything like that. So even they, who you couldn't or wouldn't want to be, it's not worth the trade-off,
right,
don't look like that.
Right.
Even them, they don't look like it. And then they do the photoshopping on top of that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty odd thing for something as smart as human beings are supposed to be, is to take that, put it on the cover of a magazine, and say, that's what I want to look like. I need to try.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got to be hip to it. Got to be hip to it. I think the more you learn about that stuff, the more you roll your eyes at those images. And then, what's really despicable is after building a universe of that perception, then you get like the National Enquirer with their beach cellulite issue.
Right.
Where they have snapshots of the stars with the close-ups of their butts and their thighs.
I love those, though. I cannot not
best
look at
and
that.
Worst beach bodies.
I cannot not look at that if I'm in the stand.
I know
because they always have a picture of somebody's ass, and I got to look who that is. Is that Kirstie Alley?
Whose butt is this? And then the inevitable shot of William Shatner with his shirt off and his big old belly hanging out.
Unfair.
Come on now.
Unfair. Those Britney pictures are worth checking out at ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com.